on your Twitter, especially your character, you're a very positive person. Your wrestling character is very positive. It's a lot of inspirational stuff on your Twitter.
It kind of reminds me of Action Hank from Dexter's Lab, like where he
I have
tells
no idea.
Dex.
I haven't seen that show in forever. It's also very flattering to me that that's how you feel my Twitter is, because I feel the direct opposite about when I look at my Twitter feed. So that makes me feel very happy.
It's hilarious, but there's a lot of inspiration in there too. Like when you talk about like your nutritionist and your goals, and it's kind of that warm, fuzzy feeling a little bit. I know if I'm looking at a big Callux tweet, I'm either going to laugh or I'm going to feel good about myself. So what helps you keep that positive mindset, and what advice do you give people who maybe need a little bit more of, say, the energy a big Callux character brings?
I'm sorry. Please.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I was just gonna expand kind of on Brett there. Maybe
Sure.
I'm on point here. Maybe I'm off, but like I also feel like from like watching Big Callux's tweets, like some of the philosophy is like big as a mindset too. Like you don't have to be necessarily as big as Big Callux, but like you're putting good out in the world. That's a pretty big thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. I think big equals good is a good barometer for anything that you're feeling. If it's good, it's probably big. Even if you are small or it is small, it's probably big. I guess I should, Brett, for your question, I should probably start off by stating a seldom said but very obvious statement that everything that you see on my social media is manufactured. It is not a real life representation of who I am all the time. I feel emotions all the time. I get sad, I get happy, I get angry, I get frustrated. Especially when I'm looking at Twitter, I'm usually frustrated or angry. But it's a conscious effort and decision to only try and say things that are going to either improve someone's day or provide levity or like a positive distraction. So if I'm putting something out there and it's not, if I'm putting something out there, I usually have like a checklist in my mind. Like, does this help someone? Does it help me? Is this going to harm me? Is this going to harm anyone else? If it, it's going to sound weird, but if it checks all four of those boxes, then it passes the go test, then I usually send it on out. And it's just a lot of that. I think a lot of people use Twitter as a place to like purge their negative thoughts. And I can totally understand why someone would do that. I did that for a long time, and it's just not what I want to do anymore. It doesn't really help anyone or anything. And I think Twitter as a general rule of thumb isn't a real place. It's a lot of thoughts that probably should have been kept in the jar or, left in the oven for a little bit longer.
Stuck to the group chats.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people who are very comfortable with there not being any consequences for anything they say.
Sure. And I think a lot of people think there are no consequences for what they have to say, or there shouldn't be. And that's just not true. Like good and bad. If you're saying, something that isn't always, if you're saying a negative thing about a half truth or something, this is going to sound like I'm talking about someone doing something bad and someone defending someone. It's not what it's about. But like, let's just think through the thoughts a little bit longer before we hit send.